Bland. This is Jeff with Jeff's Toy Reviews. I do apologize right off the bat for the white screen in front of you, but I am doing my best of 2016. These are purchases that I made of Transformers in 2016. Looking through them, I think there's a couple that are from 2015, but I bought them in 2016. That's why they're on this list. So I'm going to start right away with my honorable mentions, and my first honorable mention is, oops, excuse my arm, is Masterpiece Ratchet. And I didn't put Ironhide with him as well. I didn't do a whole tie thing with them. I thought Ironhide was fine. I really liked the way Ratchet turned out for some reason. It really stuck with me better than the way Ironhide did, but really, really liked how Ratchet came out. And so that's why he's an honorary mention. You know, good articulation, good joints. You know, I didn't have any issues that people were having with the shoulders. I like all the accessories he comes with and everything, and I like that serious head sculpt. And of course, I think there's a yelling head sculpt. But I put him in the pose from the movie where he basically gets killed. So there's that. My second honorable mention is Make Toys Gundog, or Not Hound, and there was Fan Toys Willis, and this one I went for Make Toys. Just because I had seen the transformation from a few people and I really liked how it came out. So I went for Make Toys, and very happy I did. A lot of die cast, good articulation. That face sculpt is amazing, and he's very posable, and you know, I just really like this figure. And last but not least is my last honorable mention. Like I just said, last but not least, and that is Hasbro's Titans Returns Trigger Happy. This figure was a complete surprise for me. I didn't think he was going to be that great because the others have been okay. They haven't been wowing me or blowing me away or anything. This one is a fun transformation, great paint, great articulation, and just a really fun all-around Hasbro figure. And I'm really happy I got him. So without further ado, let's get into our top 10. Iron Shell from TFC Toys is my number 10. He's in the 10 spot for only a simple reason. There are just a few other figures that I purchased this last year that I thought were better. I think he's a fantastic figure. He's got great articulation, great sculpting throughout, fantastic paint on the parts that are painted. One of the things that really deterred me from this figure is there isn't a lot of paint to accentuate any of the details that are in him. And, you know, who knows, repro labels might do something, they might not, but I'm really looking forward to the rest of the combiner mode, or the combiner pieces, to put this guy together. And look out for Poseidon, because he's going to be a monstrous figure. The figures, the limbs themselves, all stand at Voyager class, and he stands almost as tall as MP10. So we're looking for a big treat out of this combiner. I think the rest of the pieces are coming out very, very soon. So Iron Shell from TFC Toys is definitely on my number 10. My number 9 is by Unique Toys, and he stands tall above a lot of figures that I did purchase in this last year. No pun intended. He is a combiner, and this is Orden from Unique Toys. This is their version of the Terracon's Abominus. Now, this figure, I believe, mostly came out at the end of 2015, maybe early 2016 on maybe one or two of the figures, but I purchased this guy late 2016, and he's been one of the figures that I've really enjoyed having in my collection on my shelf with my other combiners. I think he fits well with the masterpiece size figures, the limbs, the figures, the individual limbs, they're okay. The monsters are okay. They're a little loose, but as Orden combined, he's fantastic. He's huge. Great details, good paint apps, sticker wraps, everything. This guy is fantastic, and I'm glad I have him in my collection. He is my number 9. All right, standing at number 8 is Generation Toy J4ZZ, aka Not Masterpiece Jazz. This guy is really cool. He reminds me of the Generations line a lot. See if I can sharpen that up a little bit. There you go. Reminds me of the Generations figures a lot, as he has that kind of very technical, intricate details and everything. They has a nice translucent plastic. Very cool, very posable, just like the others, Masterpiece figures. And you know, if you want to have them, you know, and he stands. I mean, he's a really good figure. Let me get, there you go. I mean, really good figure, sits well at the top of my shelf. Focus there, that in. And I like the articulation. I love the paint job, the pearlescence on the car mode, and just the paint that's on itself. I love the details. They're highlighted very nicely. And, you know, I did, of course, put the Autobot logo on them. You'll see that throughout. But anyway, a really good figure. I'm happy I picked him up. And I can't imagine not having this figure in my collection. He is fantastic. And he sits really well in my number 8 spot. My number 7 is not MP10. I got MP10 a few years ago. This is actually a Voyager size for MP10 and MP10W, or U. So Optimus Prime and Ultra Magnus. Now, these were put out by Kai Bianbao Toys, and these are basically essentially knockoffs. But with the quality and everything that they put into them, I don't consider them knockoffs anymore. They have die-cast chest pieces, die-cast crotch. There's plates that are all die-cast, and they're done fantastic, in a fantastic way. They transform exactly the same as MP10. They come with matrices just like MP10, and they pose, and they come with all pretty much the accessories and more than MP10. I thought these guys looked great. Their joints are tight, and you know what? They scale pretty dang good with Masterpiece Grimlock. These guys stand Voyager size, which is even better in your collection, and they pop. They really pop off the shelf if you're just looking through a collection of figures. You'll see these guys and you'll lock into them. Very good choices. If you haven't purchased them yet, get them. They're very good, and that's why they're at my number 7. My number 6 comes from Make Toys again, and this is their take on Masterpiece Megatron. This is Despotron, and this guy completely blew me away. I do have a Polyon and a couple, and I've, you know, the Combiner Wars Megatron and a couple others, and I was really looking for that good feeling gun mode with the articulation and tight joints, and not having to worry about ball joints having to replace them or anything else. This guy I got in my hands and I was completely blown away. His Megatron mode is fantastic. I think the transformation to his gun is very intuitive. Actually, let me back that up. It's intuitive once you've done it a couple of times, because it's simple enough, but at the same time there are a couple little pieces you have to remember about moving, and if you don't remember those pieces, then you know, it becomes a little sketchy. It comes with 4 different faces. I do have the laughing face on him because, you know, he's Megatron. He should enjoy being the villain. So anyway, I'm very happy to have Make Toys Despotron. If you do not have a third party or a Masterpiece Megatron, and you're looking for a third party, I would suggest Make Toys Despotron. And also there is a Megatron, Masterpiece Megatron, coming out in April. So he's definitely in my number 6. My number 5 is a tie. And the reason it's a tie is because these figures are just incredible. This is by Make Toys. This is from their Cross Dimension line. This is Striker Manus and Rioter Despotron. Now, when I first got Striker Manus, I was really on the fence whether or not I was going to like him. I got him out of the box, and holy moly, this guy can pose almost in any position, as well as Rioter Despotron. Make Toys went back and did something really neat, is they started these guys off as action figures and then added the transforming component later. And some of the for Striker Manus in particular, there are some issues with the transformation. It's really kind of hard and really fiddly in a couple of spots. Rioter Despotron transforms perfect. These guys are amazing, and I'm very happy to have them in my collection. They really do stand out. They're their own toy line that's part of make toys, and this is across dimension, and they have their own backstory and everything. Really, really amazing. So happy I have these figures. These guys are must gets if you haven't picked them up already. My number four is Masterpiece Skywarp. Actually, it's not Masterpiece Skywarp. This is by Yes Model BB7. This is their version of Skywarp, and what they did is they took the MP11 mold and applied it, of course, with new paints and everything for Skywarp, and put him out so much cheaper and in such better quality. He's not fiddly. He doesn't fall apart. Everything tabs in correctly. He's got tight joints. Everything is perfect on this figure. Paint is really nice. I didn't see any really bleeds or anything. He looks really great. And if you need a masterpiece figure, look up BB7 or Yes Model and find Skywarp, because I think he's under $100. He's the same scale as Masterpiece. Oops, excuse me. He's the same scale as the Masterpiece figures. He is basically the Masterpiece version of Skywarp, except for he's not $230, and he actually comes with a flight stand. He comes with a ton of accessories, just like all the other Seekers do, and he tabs in perfectly, especially in the waist. Like when you pick him up, it doesn't fall apart, which is great. He looks amazing, and he's my Skywarp. He comes with faction stickers. These aren't labeled on there. You put them on yourself, and he's considered a knockoff. But I will tell you what, man, if these knockoff companies keep doing quality like this, they're not knockoffs in my book anymore. All right, so that's why he's my number four. My number three, of course, this guy had to be in the top five. This is MPP10 by Y Zhang. It is an oversized version of Masterpiece Optimus Prime that beats the original Masterpiece over Optimus Prime. This guy stands tall. He's massive. I'll bring in Skywarp so you can kind of back in here so you see how tall this guy is. I mean, he's huge. And he has more die-cast parts. Came with, of course, his ion blaster. He's got the great paint apps, die-cast chest, die-cast shins down here. These are die-cast. He's got plates on the side that are die-cast. The crotch piece isn't die-cast. But the matrix inside is die-cast, and this guy has better detail and paint apps than Hasbro put out. And I believe, from what I've seen, I don't own the original MP10 from Takara Tomy, but I heard his paint apps are better on this Y Zhang model. Y Zhang knocked it out of the park as far as I'm concerned with the size of this guy, because you can put him anywhere in your shelf, on your shelves or anything else. And of course, he stands tall above them all. You can put him on a shelf by himself, and people will still be wowed about how great he looks. So that's why MPP10 by Y Zhang, excuse me, is in my top three. My number two actually stands taller than every Transformer I own, except for Fort Max and Metroplex. I think they still beat him by just a smidgen. This is Toy World's version of Devastator. This is Constructor. There's 6 components, just like the original Devastator, and they form this massive, massive combiner. The limbs themselves, when transformed into their individual robots, are bigger than, I believe they're bigger than the cars for Masterpiece, but not quite the Seeker size. These guys are incredibly detailed, fantastic articulation. So I'm going to change that a little bit. I did, of course, add the repro labels. And this guy is just massive. I love this figure. He is by far one of my favorites that I purchased this year. So much so when I purchased the first limb, I had to go back and get the rest. I was just so enthralled with these figures and the detail that is all in them, with the little paint apps, the gunmetal grays, the silvers throughout, yellows, how everything just accentuates one little piece of another. These guys are great. If you don't own them, give you a heads up. They are coming out with a pack of all 6 figures for way cheaper than what I got this guy for and what a lot of people spent. But it's going to be a nice box set that's coming out later this year, and you can go to different websites and they have them available for purchase. So, and that's why Constructor from Toy World is my number 2, because he is massive. He has very great articulation. I wasn't going to do the articulation thing right now. I don't have enough room on my table. And he's, of course, you can see he stands bigger than my backdrop. So just an incredible figure. I highly recommend him if you're into masterpiece collecting at all. If you went for Generation Toy or anything else, hey, great. Those solid figures as well from what I've heard. I went the Toy World route and I haven't been happier. Thank you so much. Number 1 is next. Who could it be? And number 1 for me, top purchases of 2016, is another Wei Zhang knockoff. Okay, this is MO1 Commander. This is, of course, the evasion mode Optimus Prime from Transformers, the Age of Extinction. Now, when I first saw pictures of him, I was like, it looks pretty good, you know, pretty nice. But then I started seeing reviews of him, and holy moly, is this guy cool. So he stands tall, of course, just like MPP-10 and Constructor. And to give you an idea, there is Titan's Return Hot Rod. Now, his legs are, you know, he's standing straight up. This guy has his legs splayed a little bit, and he is just tall. He's not as tall as MPP-10, definitely not as tall as Constructor, but the paint apps and the die cast and all the little details that were brought into this figure, he even transforms the same way as Evasion Mode Optimus Prime. So go ahead and zoom in just a little bit so you can take a look. Sorry, I have to loosen that. And he's fantastic. Paint job, rubber tires, the transformation is very intuitive. All these details, I'm going to bring him in a little bit closer here now. All the details that this guy has. Oops, sorry. Take the shield off, which is really a really nice shield. Good plastic, sturdy, definitely sturdy. So, I want to show you the face sculpt. I do have a review of this guy already on my channel. Nice chrome piping. It's got nice details in the underarms there of just gears and wires and just everything. And you know, he even has that stupid arm thing that I did not like about the Voyager class Evasion Mode Prime. But this guy really takes the cake for me. I mean, you can do so many different things. He's got nice, good ratchets. You know, and there's no peg on the axe, which I always thought was weird, because there should have been a peg on the axe. But really great figure. If you could still find this guy, and I believe you can, at different outlets online, not like outlets, but different distributors. I believe TF Direct still has him. I think I've seen him on Amazon still. He is an incredible must-get. If you're a Transformer fan, if you're an Optimus Prime fan, you're going to want to have him because he's an Optimus Prime. If you like a lot of die-cast and really cool robots, this is a really good fan. This is a really good purchase. If you're not a fan of Michael Bay and the Transformers, you're still going to want to get him, because I personally am not a big fan of those movies. But this guy is amazing. Really, really nice. Great paint apps. Transformation is just like the Voyager class that he did, with a couple little exceptions here and there. He's got nice rubber tires. He's posable. His paint just stands out in a very nice room. And I am very happy to have this guy, and that's why he's my number 1. It was very hard for me to pull out just Transformers that, oh, I like this guy, I like that guy, because that's how it started. And I like pretty much almost everything I've purchased. There are a few turkeys out there, of course, but very pleased, and I'm happy to have that. Happy to have Wei Zhang's MO1 Commander is my number 1 pick for purchases of 2016. And just a reminder, all the opinions that we have here that have been, oops, sorry, don't know why that folded. That's supposed to be folded down. Don't know why that folded up. That I pick, all these opinions are mine. This is my top 10 list. These are the top 10 purchases I made. If you have any comments, please share them. If you haven't subscribed to my channel, please do. Like my videos. Share them with your friends. I will be doing a very nice giveaway as soon as I start hitting higher numbers. I have a really nice giveaway in mind, and I can't wait to do it. As a matter of fact, it's one of the figures that's on my top 10 that I accidentally duplicated because I didn't think it was coming anymore, so I bought him elsewhere, and then he showed up. So before I could cancel him. So there you go. So please, comment, like, subscribe, tell your friends. And you know what? This has been my top 10 purchases of Transformers for 2016. And I'll tell you what, 2017 is already looking very promising. I can't wait to show those reviews to you and can't wait to see what you guys say. Thank you so much and have yourselves a great one.